Good afternoon, children. Today we are going to start with the topic periodic table, and we have already started with the topic. So we are going to understand in more detail about it. We have covered with atomic size in the last period. So now I'm just going to brush up with the atomic size. As you already know that the atomic size, when you are going across the period, the atomic size decreases, and when you go down the group, atomic size increases. We have done this. So the last part which was left in that, according to that, if you see in the second group, the lithium is the largest atom which is on the left side, and the fluorine which is on the right side is the smallest atom. As across the period, atomic size decreases. So fluorine, which is on the right, is smallest, and lithium, which is on the left, is the largest. We are not including neon. The reason is neon is completely filled. Hence, due to repulsion, its atomic size is more than fluorine. So we are not going to include in the atomic size if it is asked in the question, if the periodic table is given, and if it is asked in the second period, which is going to be the smallest atom, you are not going to include the noble gases. The reason is in the noble gases, as the electrons, the shell is completely filled, and that's the reason there is repulsion among the electrons. So you are not going to include that. So we have finished with atomic size. Now we go to the next topic, that is ionization potential. Very important for you to learn the definition, as it is very important from the scope point of view. So the definition which is given, according to that, if you see this picture, it will be very easy for you to understand that ionization potential is nothing but the amount of energy required to remove a loosely bound electron. So this is a loosely bound electron. Sorry, this is a loosely bound electron. Now you have to remove this loosely bound electron from the outermost shell, and remember this particular atom from where it is removed. This atom is an isolated gaseous state. So it cannot be in solid state, it cannot be in liquid state, it has to go to the gaseous state, and after reaching that particular state, to remove this electron, how much energy is required to remove that electron? That particular amount of energy is known as ionization potential, or in short we write it as IP also. So the energy required to remove an electron from the gaseous atom or ion is known as IP, ionization potential. Now what are the factors which are responsible for increase or decrease in IP? As we have seen in the periodic table, always remember that when you're moving from left to right, the IP will increase, and down the group IP will decrease. So from left to right it increases, down the group it decreases. But why it happens, that we are going to understand. So now factors affecting the IP. So you can see here there are two factors. One is the atomic size and the other is the nuclear charge. So now atomic size, if it increases, IP is going to decrease. So now we are going to understand with the help of this picture. Just see over here. Suppose if I remove this particular outermost shell. Okay. So suppose if this particular outermost shell is removed, and this particular electron which is over here, this particular electron which is over here, if suppose it is brought if this is brought over here, okay, this is brought over here, we are going to talk about this electron. Now electron is over here. So now what do you think is going to happen to the IP? Because now what has happened, now we are not going to include the radius or the shell, which is the outermost shell over here, we are going to consider the inner shell and just forget about the outer shell for a moment. Okay. So now if you assume that the electron is over here in this place, so the nuclear pull, that is the inward nuclear pull, you can see over here it is represented that the nuclear pull with which the electron is pulled towards the nucleus, that is going to be obviously more than in this case. Okay, so this particular electron is going to have more pull compared to this particular electron. So what will happen to the IP if the atomic size is increasing? If the electron is here and compared to that the electron is over here in the outermost shell, if it is the second shell, and if the electron is in the first shell, then where is IP, the pull, which is here you can see the man is pulling this electron, and the energy which is required. If the inward pull is more, we will have to apply more energy to remove the electron. So if he has to apply more energy in this case, if the electron is in the first orbit, that means if the atomic size is decreasing, the IP is going to be more energy is required to pull that electron. But if in case if the atomic size further increases, if one more shell is added, then the electron can be removed very easily, the energy, because the inward pull is comparatively less. So atomic size increases, IP decreases. The energy which is required to pull that electron is less. And nuclear charge, if it is increasing, if it is pulling it towards the nucleus, then IP is obviously going to increase. So these are the two factors which are affecting the IP. That is, one is the atomic size and the other is the nuclear charge. So atomic size and IP is inversely proportional. Atomic size increases, IP decreases. Okay, so I hope you have understood with this figure, because the nuclear, it is indirectly related to the nuclear charge. When atomic size is increasing, it is moving away from the electron is moving away from the nucleus. So the nuclear charge is decreasing. So increase in atomic size leads to decrease in nuclear charge, and because of that the IP also decreases. So IP and nuclear charge is directly proportional, and IP and atomic size is inversely proportional. So I hope this is clear till here, whatever I have said. So you have to understand that atomic size increases, IP decreases because it can be easily removed. Nuclear pull increases, the IP increases because it has to pull. Now you can see a man is pulling this electron. So as the nuclear pull, the inward pull is more. As I have shown over here, you can see inward pull is more. So he has to apply more energy. Okay. So now we go to the next slide. So here you can see trend in IP across the period. Now what happens when you're going across the period from left to right? So overall, just a minute. Overall IP which is there. Erase this part. Okay. So overall IP which is there. What will happen to the overall IP? It will increase. Now, why it increases? Because if you see atomic size, when you're going from left to right, you have already learned atomic size decreases and the nuclear pull increases. So, as it is directly proportional and inversely proportional to atomic size, so atomic size decreases, IP increases. Nuclear pull increases, IP increases. So, in both the condition, IP is increasing. Okay. So as IP is increasing, overall IP, what will happen? It will increase. So it increases when you're going from left to right, that is across the period. Now, according to that, if you see the helium which is there on the topmost right side, as we have learned from left to right, it is increasing. So rightmost element which is there at the rightmost of the periodic table, it's going to have the highest IP, ionization potential. And the lowest IP is going to be for the cesium. The reason is down the period it's going to decrease. It is always opposite. Suppose if you are talking about so here you can see in this figure. So here in the periodic table, you can see what is happening from left to right. As you're moving from left to right, IP is increasing. So helium, which is at the top and to the right side, it's going to have the highest IP. As down the period, sorry, down the group, it's going to decrease. It's always opposite. If this side across the period it is increasing, down the group it's going to decrease. Always remember it like that. So cesium, which is at the it's at the bottom, you're going to say that that particular cesium is going to have the least IP. Okay. Now you're not going to consider francium, which is below cesium. The reason it is radioactive. So you're going to consider cesium. After that, we go to the trend in IP down the group. So overall IP decreases. Atomic size is increasing. As you know, down the group it is increasing. So now they are having inverse proportion. So if IP atomic size increases, IP decreases. Okay, nuclear pull but increases as more and more electrons are added. As you can see the electronic configuration, more and more electrons are added. So if more and more electrons are added, a nuclear pull increases. So according to that, as it is directly proportional, IP should increase. But then who is influencing now the nuclear pull? Because the atomic size is increasing, electrons are also moving away from the nucleus. The outermost shell electrons are moving away from the nucleus. And that's the reason nuclear pull, though it should increase, it is getting influenced by the atomic size, and that's the reason overall IP decreases, because increase in atomic radius decreases the IP, and that is influencing more. That particular property is influencing or factor is influencing more, and hence overall IP decreases. I hope till here it's clear. Now we go to the next part. So here, what is important? Definition of IP is important. Factors influencing IP is important. And what is the trend that is across the period and down the group? And which particular element has the maximum IP? So IP, when you're considering noble gases also. But when you're considering atomic size, please don't consider noble gases because it increases due to repulsion. So IP, when you're considering noble gas, helium is highest and cesium, which is at the bottom of the first group, is lowest. Okay, and don't include francium, the reason it is radioactive. Now we go to the next character or the next property, what is very important, that is metallic character and non-metallic character. So metallic character, you should know the definition again. Metals lose one or more electrons when supplied with energy. So they are electron donors. So they form cations, and because they are electron donors, they are known as electropositive atoms. And non-metals, as you know, they are electron acceptors. So when supplied with energy, they will accept one or more electron or gain one or more electron and form anion. Hence, they are electronegative in it. So definition you have to learn. Now, if you see what are the factors that influence metallic and non-metallic character. So one factor is atomic radii. So you can see over here, I have shown that the difference in the atomic radii. Now, if you consider this particular atom, here the outermost shell electron is going to have more nuclear pull compared to this electron, which is in the second orbit. And if you compare this, the third atom, here it's going to be further less. So that means which particular atom is going to easily lose the electron, it will be the third one. Okay, this one. So now when you're considering the atomic radii increases, metallic character increases, because more they lose the electron easily, more metallic they are. So the atomic radii increases, metallic character increases. From this we understand. Now next is ionization potential, which we have learned before. So ionization potential increases, metallic character decreases, because as it can, energy which is required to lose the electron, to remove the electron, if it is less, because as it is easily losing the electron, IP is going to be less required. Energy which is there is going to be less required. So if it is less required, then the metallic character is more. So it is inversely proportional. So you have to understand that IP and metallic character are inversely proportional. So more energy, that means it is less metallic, because it's not, its property itself is losing the electron. So if it is losing the electron, easily it can lose the electron. So IP required is going to be less. So it is inversely proportional. So more the IP, less is the metallic character. Okay, so this figure again, it's easy for you to understand. Now next, if you go from left to right, what is the trend? So overall metallic character, when you're moving from left to right, the metals which are on the left are more metallic compared to the metals on the right. So metallic character decreases when we are going across the uh, period in the periodic table. So metallic character decreases. So what has happened to the atomic radii? Atomic radii is decreasing, as you have learned that atomic, because the outermost shell. Okay, now suppose if you are going to draw that this is the nucleus, then okay, so now this is the nucleus and this is the outermost shell. Now suppose if you are going to talk about the more electrons are added. So suppose if I'm adding one electron, then I'm adding, okay, to the same orbit one more electron. What will happen to the nuclear pull? It's going to increase. The inward pull is going to increase. Now when this inward pull is increasing, it is shrinking. This you have learned, okay, when we were talking about atomic radius. So now what is happening from left to right? In the same orbit, more and more electrons are added, and because of that, the atomic size is shrinking. Suppose if one more electron is added to here, to this particular shell, then the size will decrease. Means if you observe, the size of the size will so now here you'll see that. So here you will see that if you are comparing, so if you're comparing, if you're going to add more and more electrons to this orbit, the size is going to shrink. Okay, so the size shrinks. The reason is more nuclear, more inward pull is there. That means when the atomic radii, when in the period, in the same period, as the electron is added to the same shell, the atomic radii decreases. And when the atomic radii decreases, they are not able to lose electron easily, and that's the reason metallic character decreases. What happens to the IP when you're moving from left to right? Even IP increases. The reason is, if you see now, as the nuclear pull is more, to remove that electron from the shell, the more energy is utilized. So to remove this electron, suppose if you see that it has to pull this electron from here. So to pull this electron from here, it is requiring more energy. So as more energy is required, so IP is increasing. And as IP is increasing, again metallic character decreases, as it is inversely proportional. So you will see that when moving from left to right, the metallic character decreases. Okay, so now what happens when you are when you are going from top to bottom, that is down the period, what is happening, let's see that. So down the period, so here you can see atomic size is decreasing from left to right, and down the group, when you're going from top to bottom, the atomic size increases. You will see that it is always opposite of what happens to the same character when you're moving from left to right. If it is decreasing from top to bottom, it is going to increase. So it's opposite of that. So trend in the metallic character, as we move from top to bottom of the periodic table, the metallic character increases. As we have seen, now what is happening to the atomic radius? It is moving away. The atomic radius is increasing. So as atomic radius is increasing, metallic character increases as it is directly proportional. So atomic radii increases, metallic character increases. Now what happens to the IP? Though the nuclear pull, we say that the nuclear charge is increasing as more and more electrons are added, but they are moving away from the nucleus. The electrons are moving away from the nucleus. So IP also will decrease. The energy which is required to pull the electron, that also decreases. So as metallic character and IP are inversely proportional, so IP decreases, metallic character increases. And because both the thing you can see as it is influencing, so the metallic character to increase, so metallic character increases down the group. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now we go to the next topic. So the next part is trend in non-metallic character as we move from left to right. So non-metallic character from left to right, it's going to be opposite. If the metallic character is decreasing, the non-metallic character increases from left to right. So as we are moving from left to right, non-metallic character increases. Non-metallic character is inversely proportional to the atomic radii. As metallic character you have seen is directly proportional, non-metallic character is inversely proportional. Because you will see that here, I've shown with the diagram that if more and more electrons are added to the same orbit, it's going to have more inverse. So the energy which is required to pull that electron is going to increase. So in case of non-metals, as you can see more electrons because they are always more than 4 electrons in the outermost shell in case of non-metals, and that's the reason they are electron acceptors. So IP required to pull that electron is more in that case. So if atomic radius is decreasing, non-metallic character increases. As the nuclear pull is more, IP will increase the energy which is required to pull the electron, and hence the non-metallic character increases. So it is directly proportional to the ionization potential in the non-metallic character case, and it is inversely proportional to the atomic radii. Direct opposite of metallic character, just remember it like that. So overall what happens is metallic character increases from left to right. So you will see that the metals or the elements which are on the right side of the periodic table, they are more non-metallic. So if you are comparing fluorine and if you are comparing carbon, so fluorine is going to be more non-metallic. The reason it is to the left side. So due to this two factors, that is the atomic radii and the ionization potential. Now what happens down the group, that is from top to bottom. So as we are moving from top to bottom, the non-metallic character decreases. So you will see when you are comparing fluorine and chlorine, which is more non-metallic. Fluorine is more non-metallic or fluorine is more non-metallic. So if you are comparing that, you will see that fluorine is more non-metallic. So non-metallic character decreases. So at the top, fluorine is at the top, so that is going to be more non-metallic. The reason is atomic radii increases. There are two factors. Now atomic radii is increasing, that means electrons are moving away from the nucleus. So as electrons are moving away from the nucleus, the non-metallic character decreases because it wants to accept, whereas it will have difficulty in accepting the electrons. And as IP also decreases because the nuclear pull is decreasing, So energy required to pull that electron from away, that is going to decrease, and hence the non-metallic character is going to decrease. So here just mention the non-metallic character. Here it is missing. It is come metallic, so it has to be a non-metallic character. Just write non-metallic. Okay. That word was missing over here. So write over here non-metallic character, and whatever is written on the slides, only that part you have to learn. So when you will be solving the questions for the periodic table, you will understand how this understanding or how this knowledge is going to help you. So what happens for the non-metallic character when you're moving from left to right, it increases, but down the group, that is from top to bottom, the non-metallic character decreases. So if you are comparing fluorine, iodine, bromine, fluorine is the most non-metallic as it is at the top. So I hope this part is clear. Now we go to the next slide. So in the next slide, you have to also remember that metals are good reducing agent and non-metals are good oxidizing agent. Oil reg you have to remember in this, as I have told you in 9th standard also. So when you remember that metals are electron donors, so they lose electrons and lose electrons. So oil means oxidation it will undergo. So if it is undergoing oxidation, which type of agent it is? It is opposite, reducing agent. Okay. And if non-metals are gaining electrons, so it is undergoing reduction. So if it is undergoing reduction, which type of agent it is? Oxidizing agent. So you have to remember, as they are electron acceptors, they are oxidizing agent. As they are electron donors, they are reducing agent. So all that you have to learn for now for this particular chapter. Read the textbook, and if you have any difficulty, please ask me. Children, also keep in mind that you have to read the textbook, but you have to understand that whatever slides are there, whatever is there, definition and factors, only that part you have to remember, as that is important from the scope.